In this video, you're going to discover 5 insanely overpowered characters in the game of Marvel Rivals that make you feel like you're cheating. You will also learn the best playstyles for these characters that can make them even more powerful, and once you use the tips that I give in this video, you will probably agree with me about how broken these characters are. So make sure you watch the video to the very end so you don't miss any useful strategies. Without further ado, let's jump into our first overpowered character. We are going to start off with Groot, who is a Vanguard, and you probably weren't expecting to see Groot on this list, but Groot is an underrated destroyer, and I'm going to show you exactly why. First off, Groot is one of the most tankiest characters in the game, possessing 850 health and the ability to create protective walls that can also grant bonus health, making him very difficult to kill, unlike any other character. Now, let's talk about Groot's playstyle. His primary attack is very strong and accurate, also having a large range to hit opponents from larger distances, and paired with his wars, which are the main focal points of his character, offering more versatility. This is why I see some players overlook Groot as not being a strong character, but they are mainly saying this because they don't consistently use his wars. Being able to place wars as consistently as you can offers so much versatility, becoming really oppressive and extremely hard to deal with. These wars can both be used offensively, disrupting the opponent's field of play, and cutting off individuals off from the rest of their team, which is extremely rewarding, as the wars can also be used defensively to protect yourself and your team from incoming enemies. Remember, when playing Groot, you want to use these wars as much as possible, and you will see the results like these stats right here. Lastly, Groot's ultimate will throw a sort of grenade of vines that will pull opponents into one spot, which can be powerful if used with correct timing and around the correct opponents. You want to aim for the lower health characters for more value with his ultimate, and do not use it on the opponent's Vanguard as well, as they have the most health. Alright, let's talk about now one of the most unique and surprisingly powerful characters in Marvel Rivals, Squirrel Girl. Don't let her cute, upbeat attitude fool you. She's an absolute powerhouse with a versatile toolkit that brings damage, mobility, and summon mechanics to the battlefield. Squirrel Girl shines as a hybrid DPS and summoner, making her a nightmare for enemies in both 1v1 scenarios and chaotic teamfights. Her primary is a rapid-fire mid-range projectile. Squirrel Girl throws nuts that deal consistent damage over time with explosive damage as well. This is great for poking down opponents from a safe distance or finishing off low health enemies in the back. You want to try and hit opponents directly on impact for maximum damage. Her first ability is a small army of squirrels that attack enemies automatically if they hit someone in the direction that you throw them in. The squirrels are not only cute, but incredibly annoying for opponents as they can bounce off walls, and once they hit an enemy, they will trap the enemy in place, which is extremely effective for hitting opponents directly on impact with your primary then. This is the playstyle you frequently want to do. Throw squirrels, then finish the trapped opponent off with your primary. You also want to take advantage of a super jump ability, being able to improve the character's flexibility and be able to reach useful positions. The ability can also be used to survive against opponents for longer, avoiding their attacks and retreating from battle. Lastly, you want to use her final ability, the instant reload, as frequently as you can. The ability will allow you to instantly reload a primary weapon, giving you more opportunities to deliver more damage. Next up, we're diving into Scarlet Witch, one of the most powerful and terrifyingly effective DPS characters in Marvel Rivals. If you're a fan of high damage crowd control and abilities that manipulate the fight, Scarlet Witch is your go-to pick. Her primary involves a surging beam of chaos energy that locks onto opponents with an insane damage output and an impressive range without requiring any aim at all. This beam can absolutely melt through both strategists and many duelists. I found the best way to use this primary is to target at the strategist first in big team fights, and after they are dealt with, you can melt through the rest of the team. Scarlet Witch's primary also charges up the speed at which you can do her Chaos Bolt ability, which is extremely strong at dealing with groups of enemies. You want to use this ability as much as you can to deal even more damage, so alternating between her primary and Chaos Bolt ability is the best playstyle you want to do. Scarlet Witch's other ability involves her Cloaking Warp, allowing her to become invulnerable for a short duration while also being able to levitate. The ability also has a short cooldown and is crucial for both gaining access to useful positions and retreating from dangerous situations. As Scarlet Witch is such a deadly threat, the opponents might focus on getting you out of the fight first. Lastly, her ultimate can be game-changing if used correctly. It involves channeling a massive surge of energy, sending out waves of destructive magic that deal heavy AoE damage across a large area. This ultimate is a team fight game changer. It's perfect for choke points, objectives, or when multiple enemies are grouped together. Moving on, we've got another high DPS specialist, Moon Knight, who excels at delivering consistent burst damage to squishy opponents, specializing in killing enemy heroes hiding behind cover. This hero is an expert in mid to long range combat and can cause a lot of trouble for the enemy team when playing around objectives. His abilities let him control zones from a safe distance while making life difficult for the opposing vanguard and healers. His primary is the crescent darts. Moon Knight throws 3 crescent darts in a straight trajectory that bounces between nearby enemies and anks, dealing damage. You want to mainly throw these darts in the middle of large groups of enemies to deal more damage, and if you are fighting just singular enemies, then aim for hitting them directly. Moon Knight's first ability involves the Ancient Ank being placed on the ground, and any opponents within its radius will receive a portion of damage until destroyed. The Ank also allows for crescent darts to be thrown at it to ricochet off to other Anks placed that will distribute even more damage. His Crescent Slash ability involves a high range damage projectile that can be used to deal damage to multiple enemies at a time, with a low cooldown as well. You should use this ability with his primary attack to deal combos and consistent damage, either from a distance or up close. Moon Knight also excels at mobility, having incredible free movement abilities, which involve a double jump, a gliding feature, and a grappling hook. These abilities can allow Moon Knight to travel large distances in a short time and move to useful positions as well as retreating from dangerous situations. His ultimate, named the Hand of Khonshu, involves opening on the field where Khonshu bombards enemies with his talons, dealing massive damage for 3 seconds. This ultimate can be devastating to a group of enemies, especially with lower health, like Groot's ultimate. Our last overpowered character is Jeff the Landshark, who may look adorable, but in Marvel Rivals, he is one of the most powerful and versatile support characters in the game. As a healer strategist with game-changing abilities, Jeff Kit allow him to save teammates, disrupt enemies, and even deal surprising damage when necessary. Whether you're hiding from the shadows or diving into fights to turn the tide, Jeff has tools that has made him a top-tier pick for any squad. Jeff's strength as a healer lies in his versatility and mobility. Unlike other support characters, he can heal long range, stay hidden, and quickly reposition, making him hard to pin down with his Joyful Splash primary, which is Jeff's bread and butter healing ability. He can heal teammates across the entire arena, no matter how far away they are, and this ability lets you position yourself in safe spots far from enemies, while still providing critical support. On top of that, Jeff can also bring healing bubbles into chaotic fights, giving allies quick recovery while staying safe himself. You can launch up to 6 healing bubbles before needing to recharge. Jeff's healing abilities make him essential in high-pressure matches where teammates are constantly taking damage. His ability to heal while staying hidden allows teams to recover and regroup during fights. Jeff's hide-and-seek ability is what truly sets him apart, though. It allows him to dive underground where he's harder to hit, so you can reposition to safer locations while recharging healing abilities. This ability also gives him the ability to passively heal himself while underground, giving him surprising sustain. His primary Aqua Burst also gives Jeff offensive options, allowing him to launch powerful and strong water attacks that can hit hard and disrupt enemies. You'll want to try and pair Aqua Burst with Hide and Seek for a quick hit-and-run playstyle. However, Jeff's ultimate is one of the most devastating ultimates in the game. It involves him devouring multiple enemies at once, removing them from the battlefield temporarily, and allowing you to split the enemies out wherever you want while they take damage in your mouth. Once you get the enemies in your mouth, you want to try and spit the enemies out near edges of the map for instant kills, and if they possess movement abilities, you can even just walk out of the map, killing them all anyways. The key to Jeff's ultimate, however, is timing, and using it when enemies are grouped together in a chaotic fight for maximum value. And that's it. Those are the top 5 strongest characters in my opinion in Marvel Rivals, and I have taught you today how to play them effectively. Now, whether you're smashing through enemies as Groot, or zipping around as Squirrel Girl, or chomping your way to victory as Jeff the Shark, mastering these characters will help you dominate the competition. Now, let me know in the comments which character is your favourite, and who you think should be on this list. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any more Marvel Rivals content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.